Tell us in the Q&A where you are watching from. I'm going through it right now. Also, while you're at it and while you're typing, please tell me if you are Afrikaans or English. Gooi hom gou-gou vinnig, Afrikaans, English. I want to see what is the majority. In Zoom, if the option is grayed out, it has been locked at the account level and needs to be changed at that level. Jackie Shaw, you are amazing. You may see separate settings for meeting chat and webinar chat if your admin requested this to be. I'm gonna copy. Can I get copy? Click in meeting chat under in meeting basic voice meeting. Okay. Click the webinar chat toggle. Goed. Baie hoor graad julle, Leidenburg. My goodness. Meeting tab. Click the webinar chat toggle and enable or disable. Ja, nee, ek sien nie dit nie. It has never happened to me. It has never happened to me that I can't chat with you. I don't know what's going on. Afrikaans, Afrikaans, English, 20 left. Nee. 442, 443. Oh. Jan Kempdorp. Oh my goodness, I have to go quickly through this. Afrikaans, Afrikaans. It is work hard for my back. We don't know why the chat is disabled. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And we don't know where to enable it. It's not very easy to see that. Ek weet nie wat toggle nie. It is onder meeting. It or not there window. No, Shanae, are you trying to find out as well? Okay, let's not waste any more time. We are almost a full house. It is very exciting. I love seeing where you're from. Sign into Zoom web portal as an admin with the privileges and in the navigation menu, click user management, then groups. You must do that now. Can you do that while you are also a technical admin, please? It's in the chat. It's Jackie Shaw. That's very open. I can understand Afrikaans, Monique. I'm so glad. Parijs Afrikaans. Oh, wow. Okay, well, people, let's just jump right in. I am super excited. This has been a long time coming. And I'm so happy to spend some time with you. We literally have just over an hour, so I'm going to speak like a machine. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see my presentation. Can you see it? I hope you can. Can you see it? It's perfect. Okay. So tonight we're going to speak about Mase Issues. It's such a double whammy. Want ons kan sulke Mase Issues. Julle weet mos in Afrikaans jy daar's 'n Mase burger. If something is really big, it's Mase. I think it actually comes from the fact that moer is ma in Netherlands and Dutch. So instead of saying it is a Moorse burger, you say it's a Mase burger, implying that it is really big. So it is it's a big evening because we're going to speak about big issues. And then we are going to speak about the fact that many of our big issues actually comes from our mothers. And that we as mothers, I believe most of you are. Please also tell me in the chat. I've got somebody with me who can go through it and tell me what you're saying while I'm speaking. Tell us in the chat if you are a mother and whether you have girls or boys and what are their ages. We love to know who our audience is and who we're speaking to because it is important for us in where we're going with this conversation. Okay, so, but first of all, welcome. You are so welcome. And thank you so much for spending your time with us. It is such an honor that you gave up your time and I'm certain you put your children earlier to bed than necessary because you wanted to be here. So thank you. We really appreciate it. We really do, especially for the fact that there are so many of you online. I can't believe it. I've never had that for a webinar. It's really amazing. So thank you. What is our goal? Our goal tonight is double is tweeledig. Binary. Oh my word! I just said binary. Binary. It's binary. The one is we want you to identify your own issues as a mother that you have received from your mother or maybe from any other person. So that is our first leg. We want you to realize that many of the things that you face today, many of the reactions, many of the fears, many of a lot of the anxiety and fear that you are or might have in your life today or experience today can be traced back to issues from a parent or a sibling or anybody else for that matter. But we're going to focus today on mothers especially. So that's the one leg. And the other leg is then to say, okay, we want to take hands with you and help you to prevent those issues being transferred to your children, especially your girls. I am one of, I have another sister. Well, we're four siblings. I have a sister. I know I can identify it in her life and she can identify it in my life, the typical issues that we have received from our mother and that she has received from her mother. And in this, I just want to say, prontheid, we're not naming and shaming anybody. It was nobody's fault. Nobody did stuff on purpose. But it's awesome for me to be able to freely speak about stuff that happened and optreden, gedrag, actions when I was younger, up to a point where there was healing and there was repentance and there was forgiveness, because all of that is very necessary. So that is what we're going to do. The one is you identify your own issues, your own stuff, and we're going to give you help to like deal with it. We're not going to just let you identify it and then leave you and feed you to the wolves. No, we're going to help you and guide you to say, listen, this is how you can actually deal with it. And then the other one is to take your hand and say, okay, you might have a daughter, you might have a son, and we'll get to this to the boys, but we're going to focus on girls today and how can we help you to prevent that from going over to them. That is our goal. So please switch off your phone or put it to silent unless you are on your phone. Please try and focus. We literally have an hour, and I'm gonna speak fast. I already do speak fast. I'm gonna up my game to be able to get through everything. I know many of you are here because you want to hear the testimony I've spoken about on social media, the one that happened with A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to get there. If you stay right until the end, I'm going to tell you that testimony. It has to wait because it's the cherry on top and you really, really, really do want to hear it. So please hang around, okay, for that. But focus. Why are you even here? Please tell me, why are you here? Are you still figuring out the chat? Let me see in the Q&A. Why are you here? What do you want to get from this today? Oh, I see lots of girls, mom, boys and girls. Oh, mama, Dr. 13. Ladies, you are going to get a lot of value from this evening. I promise you that. So stick around. Stick around. I might just give something away. I might just give away an online masterclass valued at almost 2,000 Rand. So just hang in there. I want you to stay until the end so that you can see what we're going. Break the chain. I love this. You came for the testimony. Okay, I've got many testimonies. Okay, so who am I? Oh, let me just move this. Sien julle nou die chat oop voor my? Kyk gou wat sien jy? Nee, you see only me. Dis wat ek sien. Any chats voor my. Okay. So, I want to quickly introduce you to me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aletté. I am the youngest of 4 children. I'm 42 years old and I have 4 children. Do you see that cycle repeating itself? Anyway, my parents were both in the education department when I was born. My mom was a teacher and my dad was first a teacher and then he became a lecturer. And so, you know, all of you who are teachers, we all know that you probably have the most important occupation and career that there is on this earth, because you literally raise the future generations of the world, and your payment is not up to where it should be in comparison to your skill and the importance of your occupation. If you agree, please tell it to me in the Q&A. Okay, I would love to know if you agree. But so my parents planned and budgeted for 2 children. They said, okay, they were very much in love. I mean, they are still very much in love, but they said, okay, 2 children, that's what they've got. And then they had 2. And then when when my mom was rolled out of the hospital with a second one, the nurse apparently said to my mother, "See you again next year." And I said to her, she should have said, "I rebuke those words in the name of Jesus," but she didn't. So she was there the next year with my brother, another brother, so it's a brother and then a sister, and then another brother, and then came me just after she gave away all the baby stuff to my aunt, who was pregnant with my cousin. So then she found out that she was pregnant with me. So obviously, I don't want to say obviously, but it is actually obviously, if you planned and budgeted for only 2 children, and suddenly you had a third one only 17 months after the second one, so you're still dealing with a baby, and now suddenly you have another baby, and then when this one is just 2.5 years old, you find out you're pregnant again. So my mom burst out in tears when she found out she was pregnant with me. No shame there. I'm very certain that many of you have experienced the same thing, maybe from your parents, or maybe you yourself burst out in tears when you found out your mom, or you are pregnant with a child that you didn't perhaps plan at that stage. But because of that, because of the almost the stress that I caused her as a little fetus, I experienced rejection in the womb. Now, many of you might think it's a foreign concept. Many of you might think that, what are you talking about, that you feel things in the womb? It's a proven fact. I've got 600,000 testimonies to tell you how it is proven and how real it is, that a baby, actually 7 hours after conception, 7 hours after conception, that baby can feel what the mother feels, whether the mother is excited, whether the mother is sad, whether she's upset, whether she's fearful, whether she's depressed. And one of the things that I want to confirm that with is, I wanted to talk in Sirius or somewhere where I explained this. And a woman came to me afterwards and she said this was just revelationary and revolutionary to her, because she had a stillbirth with her first baby, and with her second pregnancy, she was absolutely paranoid. She didn't want to do anything. She didn't want to go anywhere. She just wanted to sit at home and breed this baby and make sure that this baby comes out healthy. And she says that baby is now born, is now 2 or 3 years old, and that child is paranoid. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to get on the jungle gym. He doesn't want to go anywhere. So that fear was transferred to her baby. So believe it or not, it's true. It's proven. I can tell you many more stories, but I don't have the time to do that today. I experienced rejection. My parents, for the life of me, never, ever, ever told me they did not want me. Never, never, ever. They never said anything about it, but still that lie of the enemy came in. So let's just start off the bat. If you don't know this by now, I am a born-again Christian. My husband and I pastor a church in Somerset West. I love Jesus more than anything. And if it's not for you, then maybe you should stay anyway. But everything I'm going to say today is going to come from that place of experience, of walking with Jesus, of being hurt, of having healing, experiencing the healing, believing lies, identifying the lies, replacing the lies with the truth of who God is and of who I am. Now, you must know, if you know the Bible, you'll know that it says very pertinently that the devil walks around like a roaring lion, because Jesus is the Lion of Judah, but he walks around like the roaring lion because he's trying to imitate Jesus, okay? He also says that he came to kill, steal, and destroy. The moment the enemy opens his mouth, he's lying to you. The first thing he did to Eve in the Garden of Eden was sow doubt. Like, did Did God really say that? Did he really say you can't eat that? And that is how lies start in our lives. It starts with doubt. Like, is it really bad to do this? Am I really not, whatever. You start with doubt, and then it grows into something that is just, it can become a snowball. So the enemy will do anything in its power to prevent you from getting to who you are supposed to be, to becoming the person, the God created identity person, because he knows that if he can get to you, it can have an effect on a whole generation. If you fall for the lie, then you will transfer it to your children. If your grandfather fell for the lie, he would probably transfer it to your father. Whatever the case may be, he knows that God is building his church and his bride with people. We are his bride. We are his kingdom. And if he can get to the people and he can nail the people and hurt the people, then it's going to have an effect on the kingdom of God. So therefore, we have to be very alert, and that's why we have the armor every day that we're supposed to wear to help us resist the devil and all the lies. And also we have the scripture that says we must not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So we are constantly in this battle where we are overwhelmed with lies, and then you have to identify the lie and say, no, this is not the truth. This is not what God says. This is not what God says in the word of God about who I am. Okay, so get back to the story. The enemy came in also because he knew what my calling is. He knew what I was supposed to come and do. He knows that well, everybody has an incredible calling. So he knows he must just get in there as soon as possible to nip it in the butt and just get you out of the game. So I was born, my reaction to the rejection that I've experienced, once again, without any word being spoken, was that because I was not supposed to be here, I came out and I was the perfect little girl. I did absolutely everything right. I was with Mase from the age of 18 months. I had the neatest room in the house. I was absolutely anal when it came to cleanliness. Cause why? My mother was, I knew, let me rather say it, I knew it will please my mother, because I knew my mom was a teacher. What I experienced in my house as the youngest sibling was she took out her frustrations that she can't take out on other people's kids in the class. She would come and take it out on us at home. So there was a lot of yelling, there was a lot of fighting, there was a lot of cleaning. Oh my word, it felt like we cleaned our childhood. Dear, what is the word? Over, through. We just clean. And I remember so vividly. I loved playing Barbie, and I would just build this whole Barbie house on my floor during a holiday, because then you actually have time to keep it there and not have to pack it up. And just as I sit down to start playing, my mom will call me again, and I can remember me rolling my eyes and thinking, oh my word, can I just play? Can I just flip and play and not work so hard? I was so falling for that lie that I have to perform, that I have to be perfect, that I have to be good because it's going to please my parents. And even though they didn't want me, then they would say, we didn't really want you, but you're not so bad. You actually help in the family. That if I was ill at home, if I was had a sick day with croup, because I had that often, and croup is like you've got that cough that sounds like you some very strange dog barking. I would iron the whole household's ironing, and we were 4 siblings. It's a lot, because I knew when my mom's going to get home, she's going to be happy and satisfied with what I did. So it was this whole performance thing. So my parents were in education. Then when I was 13 years old, my father studied to become a pastor, and then he went into ministry. We moved from Joburg to Witbank. It was a flippin' big aanpassing. Julle moet maar net bybly vandag. And I was the only sibling that moved with my parents. 2 of them still had to finish school that side because they were in matric, whatever. The other one was already out of the house. But what I experienced in Witbank was something so amazing. Because why? When I was 15 years old, when we moved there, in that first year that we were there, my parents had a missionary school where they trained, because they were in the education field. My father was an incredible teacher. They were appointed to run this mission school where they train people from around the world to become missionaries and then send them out in the world again. And I literally saw my mother and my father, but especially my mother, change in front of my eyes like night and day during that first few months in Witbank. And I was like, what is going on? And I think at first my mom, I can't remember that she sat me down and told me. I think I asked questions and she came out with the whole story, that they had somebody come and speak to them at the school, and he introduced them to inner healing. And she was like, inner healing, what inner, like gesundheit, what is inner healing really, like what? Because people, many of us think that when we are born again, or we belong to Jesus, or we get saved, that everything in our lives should be sorted and fine. But let's think about it. It is not the truth. The truth is your spirit is set free. Your spirit is right back to where it was created to be and who it was created to be. And you, if you should die, you're going to Jesus. But your body, your flesh, and your soul still need to play catch up. Because just think about this. If there was somebody who was repeatedly raped as a 15-year-old, now when they are 18 years old, they get saved and they give their life to Jesus, it's not as if that act, that harm, that damage didn't happen. It did happen, and it has an effect. The lie comes in, the shame comes in, the guilt comes in. Everything that the enemy can throw in that pot on that day comes in, and you partner with it willingly or unwillingly. And unless there's a process of dealing with that, of healing, that's why there are so many psychiatrists and psychologists and drugs and stuff, for people to deal with stuff that has happened to them, or maybe what they stuff that they have done themselves. So my mom changed right in front of me, and she said to me that she was introduced to inner healing, and she actually went for counseling, and she was surprised at what came out. Now you must know, my mom grew up in a parsonage, which is parsonage is ek reg, né? Pastorie, pastorie. My grandparents were missionaries. I grew up under the church pews. I've known Jesus my whole life. It's like it's part of my everyday. That's and then for her to be in her 40s, to be only, I mean, if I was 15, she was 47, to be introduced to something like this, even though you've known the Lord your whole life, it was revolutionary or revelationary to her as well. And I saw it in the fruit. I saw how she changed. I saw how she went to all the siblings and she said, I'm sorry. I want to ask you quickly, especially if you're a girl, and if you have siblings, girl sisters. I've got the Q&A open in front of me. I reckon the chat is still not working. Please tell me, if you are a girl, if you ever experienced what I experienced, where my mom was on a different diet almost every Monday. I mean, I wrote a book about it. Morris Maandag was rooted in the fact that I saw my mom be on a diet almost every week, a different thing. And then every week it is like, yes, this is it. No more starch, no more sugar. And then it might last for a week and a half. And then the next week, now only fruit in the morning, then this. That will last a week and a half. And then there's this new pill. Oh my goodness, I saw it in the Discam ad, and it's got to be the truth. And then the pill doesn't work. And then it's this, and then it's that. So we are introduced as girls to body issues at a very, very, very young age. I have since learned that you don't even speak about food, about watch that, don't do that, don't eat that, because you don't even speak about fat. Look at my body in front of I don't do it in front of my girl at all, because I want to stop that cycle, because my mom's mom was exactly the same. She did exactly the same thing. And why? Because I believe we as women are targeted by the enemy, especially when it comes to body issues, because we keep on comparing ourselves to others, and we all believe that there's one standard and one standard only, and if we do not fit the bill for that one standard, sorne, you're out. You didn't make the cut, which is not the truth. And I've got many other stories to confirm that. So I saw that body issues, very much aware, very much aware. I remember once sitting on my father's lap when I was 13, and he said, I have since forgiven him. He says, now you're getting too big for this now. Like, I love you, everything's cool, but jy raak nou vir my bietjie groot. And the lie that came in just by saying that, I was literally big. I was a big 13-year-old, came in and said, I'm fat, I'm overweight. My father is rejecting me because I'm overweight. So things like that can come in and have an effect on us. If I was not able to identify these things at a young age, I would probably still sit with it if I wasn't open. And I'm very certain that many of you are sitting here today with stuff that was said over you, maybe even said by your parents, maybe said by your mom, body shaming you. Don't eat so much of that, you're going to become fat. I had friends in school, they were 4 sisters, and the mother had this saying that said, you can never be too skinny or too rich. And one of her children today has anorexia, and she looks like a skeleton. Okay, so the things we speak, words have power. What are we saying to our girls? Oh my goodness, ek moet regtig move. But I don't want to miss anything. I want to read. Huh? Arsonage. Yes, I'm gonna go there. So, I saw my mom change, and I said, okay, I want in. Whatever you're doing, I want to do that too. Because why do I want to sit with this? And then when I went to the counselor, she asked me how did my mom react when she felt pregnant with me, and I told her that she cried, and she said, okay, so that's the first root issue, is rejection, that I needed to deal with. And it was incredible the moment you get to the root issue, the root lie, how many other things just fall into place or come to the light that you can deal with. So from a young age, I have been introduced to it. I have received healing, and constantly, because you never arrive, you're never sorted out forever, because every day people say stuff, and every day people do things that offend you. And can I just say, people, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to sting you, I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to offend you. But the moment you experience offense, you can know that there is a trigger and that you are not sorted out. Because offense is the trigger that shows you, why do I get upset about this? Why do I react the way I do? Because that person looked at me like this, or said this, or does this. The moment you experience offense, you can know that there are still things in your life that needs to be sorted out. I am speaking to everyone. I still get offended. I still have to identify lies on a daily basis and step out of agreement with it. I promise you, I'm like, why did I now get mad at my husband? Why did I react that way? What is going on? And the moment I do it and I go through the process and I ask Holy Spirit to show me, He does. And then I'm like, okay, who do I have to forgive because of that? What is the lie that I believe because of that? And then change that into the truth. Ek het 'n charger nodig, o gats. So, I can remember as a student at university already, I got passionate about the fact the moment I meet new students and I meet new friends, where I can see patterns of issues, of them perhaps coming from a divorced household, and I can identify the pain, and I can identify the rejection, and I can identify the abandonment, and it's amazing. So my life schooling, if you want to know, I'm still introducing you to Aletté. One of my main missions in life, and especially even as an image consultant, because it opened so many doors for me to get right in there, is to help people to deal with their issues. All of us have it. You cannot go through life without it. I'm sorry if you think you don't have issues, then that is your issue and you have to lay down. All of us have stuff. Some have a lot more. There are levels and degrees of issues. Some people got through life, hulle het eintlik lig daarvan afgekom, whereas other people have gone through hell and back. And I have so much respect for you that you are still standing and that you are still here. And I want to encourage you that God is not over with you. He knows about you and He's waiting. James 4 verse 8 says, draw near to Him, draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. God is such a gentleman. He's waiting for you with arms wide open and say, the moment you take a step forward. And I'm going to give you the opportunity today to take a step forward, to say, ek kan nie meer nie. I have now realized. And I also just want to say, the moment you think of people or stuff that happens, that is the Holy Spirit reminding you of these things that still need to be sorted out. The moment you experience that while I'm speaking, you're thinking about your mother or your father or your uncle or your brother, you must know that there is still a root lie that needs to be sorted out, and it needs to be replaced with the truth of who you are and of who God is and of who God says you are. So that is why I'm here. I am passionate about it. I remember I qualified as an image consultant 13 years ago, and from my first talks that I had to present as a public speaker, people think they book me to come and tell them what to wear, and I would get in there just to get to the heart, to say, okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have everything together. It doesn't matter if you have the most beautiful lipstick on and if you have the most beautiful outfit. It really doesn't matter if your heart is hurt and not sorted out, because it's going to show. You will never be able to fix it with the latest fashion. You will never be able to just paste the new lipstick on. It will never work unless you get to the heart. So people, when somebody comes to me for a makeover, you see it briefly on social media. You see briefly that we show that they were in the office with me. But what happens in that moment in the office is a holy moment. It's a sacred moment. It's the moment where they say, hello, my name is this, and then everything, just everything. My grade 1 teacher told me I've got the ugliest legs in the whole world. My this happened here, my that said that. My teacher told me I've got the longest ears, and he held a pen next to it. And I mean, besides all the physical things that they tell me that people said over them, that they still believe, even if it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years later, they have never worn a short or something that shows their knees, because one child said something when they were in grade 3. She's now 60. Never. There's nothing wrong with her knees. But the lie of the enemy came in and convinced her that your legs are really ugly, girlfriend. You better cover them up. Okay. I get excited like some people get over spreadsheets and accounting. I get excited, and I know that God is using my image consulting as a front to get to people's hearts. So that's what I love to do. I love to get to people, to make them over inside out, the whole being, everything. Of course, I have seen people who didn't even come for a makeover. They just came to visit, and we identified stuff, and they had to forgive their fathers, and they did it. And the moment they opened their eyes, they looked like they had a makeover. I've seen both sides. I've seen people getting a makeover, not dealing with the inside, and 3, 4, 5 weeks later, they're back to where they were. And I've seen people even getting a makeover, but getting a makeover on the inside, and it lasting forever. So this is why we're here. I want to, and I'm going to share my testimony. Please stay, because it's profound and it's life-changing, and you're going to love it. I'm going to share it at the end. I want to establish the fact today that I want you to know that I'm not here because I get paid, because I don't get paid to be here right now at all. I also chose to be here to spend time with 500 women and say, if I can sit with each one of you and listen to your story, I would cry with you, I would pray with you, and I would want to stick it out until I see you whole and healed on the other side. That is my heart. I cannot, even if somebody comes to me after a talk and tell me something profoundly bad that has happened to them or sad, I will not leave it there. I take their numbers and I connect them with a counselor and say, girl, we have to get you sorted out. I can't just walk away knowing what I know. For instance, I did speak at a talk, and a woman came to me and she said, you just said that your mother never said that they didn't want you. She said, my parents told me every day of my life that they didn't want me. Can you imagine the rejection? Can you imagine that it is absolutely impossible? It's impossible for her, before she deals with that lie, to have the marriage that she's supposed to have, to be the parent that she's supposed to be, believing that I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm not good enough. I wasn't even. Does it make sense? Please tell me in the chat that it makes sense and you understand what I'm saying, because it is really important that I know that you are with me. So this is why we are here. We are here. This is the first leg of why we are here. Let me just go back to sharing my screen. I think you know a little bit more of who I am now. I also come, I just want to kill the, do we kill the bee? Or do we just leave the bee that's all around me? I want to ask you, I'm keeping this chat, I'm going to take screenshots afterwards to make sure that I get to everybody say, my pa het elke dag wat met my. Oh. Wow, Nadia says her dad told her that you will never get a husband. People, in our marriage seminar that my husband and I have, we had a session on in-laws, and we actually had a live session, and we had this Mentimeter website where we could get your reactions, even though you're not with us. You can vote, and we have got polls and stuff happening. On that Mentimeter, we asked, what is the worst thing that your mother-in-law or father-in-law said to you? And the things that came out of there, I was just devastated. Okay, so let me just stop here by saying something that is very, very important for you to know, is that hurt people, okay? Whoever hurt you, whatever they did to hurt you, that person is broken, him or herself. If you are whole and healed and you've dealt with your lies, you will not go out and hurt other people. That is very important that you understand that. And the moment you understand that, it almost gives you a different kind of grace towards your perpetrator, towards the person who hurt you. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. But it helps to understand why that person did it. What have you heard so often? Somebody might have molested you. I can give you R1 million check that person was molested. I can give you R1 million check that person who molested that one was molested. It is what happens until we get to a day like today, on Mase Issues, where we draw a line in the sand and say, not anymore. Not anymore. We're gonna stop this thing from going on to the next generation and the next generation. That is why you are here today, if you didn't know that. I'm glad you say it makes sense. I'm glad you're still with me. Sure. Lisa says her husband said to her shortly after they were married that he doesn't like loose skin and stretch marks, and it was the worst for her, and it obviously influenced their intimacy. It's okay. Has anyone ever said anything to you like this? Please tell me in the chat that you are too anything, whether too skinny, too fat, too tall, too short, too much. Just tone it down. Just tone it down a little bit. You're a bit like too much to handle. Too clever, too loud, or even too reserved. Please tell me if you've heard any of those. And if I didn't say you're too, please tell me what. Too loud, too emotional. Well done. Tell me any other things. Tell me what. And then, have you ever felt or said, somebody said to you, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not fit enough, you're not talented enough, you're not committed enough, you're not girly enough, you're not fitting the mold, you're not proper enough. Maybe you were not the it girl, according to a lie, according to what somebody said. Maybe you were not the sporty girl and you thought that you had to be sporty to be cool. Maybe you were not the musical girl. Maybe you were not the academic girl. No, maybe you were not even the fun girl. Maybe you're like, where did I even fit in? I was none of that. You were you, girl. You were who you were created to be, girl. And I want you to see that today. That imagine all of us being the same, having the same talents and gifts. It wouldn't have worked. Imagine if we are all the body of Christ. All of us play a role. All of us have a part. If we were all hands, imagine just hands. It wouldn't work. All feet, all hearts. All of us have different talents and gifts. We're built differently. We have different body shapes, different face shapes, different coloring, different hair colors, different personalities, different talents for the reason that we all have to bring our little bit to the party to make the complete body. I heard this once from John Bevere, and it's such a profound statement that will stick to me always, that we think, you know, talents or gifts that's in the limelight, like being on the stage, that being able to sing or play an instrument or dance, imagine X Factor or any like that, or even sports stars, where you are in the limelight because of your talent. Everybody, or most people, want to be the one in the limelight. And then he says, so it's the seen parts. So you can see your legs, and you can say, oh my word, that person has got beautiful legs. It's something that can be beautiful and that can be admired, okay? When it comes to the body of Christ, something like, she's got beautiful legs, she's got shapely arms. Okay, can you live without a leg? Yes, you can. You actually can. But the unseen organs, the liver and the heart and the kidneys, that doesn't get that glory. You don't say, hey, you've got a beautiful liver, Papa. Wow. Yeah, we don't do that. You don't say, I've seen kidneys and yours is like next level. Legit. We don't do that because we don't even see it. They are not celebrated, but they have an even more important function than the legs because it keeps you alive. Okay, so have you ever seen or let's just go back to your growing up house. How did your mother approach makeup, for one? Did she wear a lot? Because I've had all of that. I've had my mom wore makeup or too much, and I will not wear any makeup because of that, or my mom didn't wear any makeup and therefore I'm going to go all over to the other side, or I just, yeah, too much, too little, didn't have an example. Please tell me, what was your experience with your mother and makeup? We've now spoken about your mother and weight. And how many of you will be honestly telling me in the Q&A that because of your mother's weight issues, you have weight issues today? Because of the lies, because perhaps of the body shaming, because of the daai is bietjie te veel, sis, hier skep vir my bietjie terug. Maybe you've been called dikkus, fatso, fetty, what, and you believe that, né? And then if you look at your pictures now from then, if you go back and you look at those pictures, you're like, I wasn't even close to being fat at all. Okay, please tell me. Sure, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough. The things that's being said here is just absolutely. My grandma told me I'm fat. My dad always said it's a joke, but it's not really. And therefore, she had issues with food. She would rather either not eat anything or go and throw up. People, if we do not draw a line in the sand today, your children will experience the same thing. Why? Because what we do as children, as little flippin' infants even, we make an inner vow that I will never do this. I will never say this to my child. I will never drink like my father. I will never wear short skirts. I will never. And the moment you make that inner vow in the spirit, you partner with fear. Except for the fact that you are trying to do something in your own flesh, in your capacity, which you can't do. You can't do this on your own. You partner with fear. And how many, because the fact that you said that, is doing either exactly that, or it is so hard for you to maintain that it's killing you. It's actually killing you. Like, for example, I've once heard at a conference a woman say, my mother was never there for us, and therefore I made the inner vow that I will always be there for my children, to the point that she cannot almost go to the loo. She is always with the children. She cannot take 1 hour off. She is exhausted. And the moment, if she should once in 5 years go away for a weekend with her husband, her mind is with her children all the time, and she feels so guilty because she's not with them. Why? Because she made an inner vow. I want to know, what is your inner vows that you made when you were a child? All men are bad, or things that you've said like that. All men are cheaters. I will never marry a cheater. I will never marry a whatever. I want to know, what did you say to yourself that I will never do that, and because of that I will never skinny shame my children, and because of that you are so anal about what they eat and put in their mouths that it's almost killing you. It's driving you insane. It's making you crazy and so exhausted. It's what it does. It exhausts you because you are trying to do this from a place of fear and not from a place of love. And love is the key to all of y'all, to all of this. So we partner with lies, we make inner vows, we do things, and when it comes to my testimony later, almost later, I wanna share how you are sometimes, well, oftentimes, most of the time, not even aware of the lie that came in. Many a time you have that moment where that person said that and did that, and yes, that happens. But many times there are things that happens to you in life, or that happened to you, especially as a young child, where you have no memory of it, where that lie came in and it has an effect on you today. And that is what my testimony is all about a bit later. My dad always told me I was fat. It's here. Oh my gosh, people. Can I just get from you in the chat that you want to say, I will never wear a bikini? Yeah, let's look at that. And you know what, you say I will never wear a bikini, it's probably the one thing your husband just wants to see you in a bikini. Sure. You know, okay, so ek wil hier met screenshots neem van die chats. I want to move on swiftly. I want you to say to me in I'm going to say the chat, but you must just know I'm speaking about the Q&A. I want you to know that our children are so receptive. I have this story that absolutely shattered me. After my baby's born, obviously you've got the extra weight. With all four my children, I gained 30 kilos with the first one, 20 with the second one, 25 with the third one, and then miraculously 10 with the last one, but only because I never lost the weight with the third one. So it was probably actually the same. And then after you have a baby, you are I'm an image consultant, I'm in the limelight, I kind of need to get my body back in shape. So the pressure, the lies of the world, you have to look a certain way, you have to dress a certain way, you have to be a certain size. I fell for it. I mean, I often fall for it. I have to constantly remind myself that, you know what, my ass, it's a very ugly word, but it's important that I say it, it's my biggest asset when it comes to my marriage and my husband. He loves it. He loves my butt. He likes big butts, and he cannot lie about that. And I want to change it for the world. I want to change it because I think it's too big for my followers. Why do we do that even? So I was in this routine. I was trying to eat healthily. I would every morning wake up, go to the loo, pee, I always joke when I do talks and say, blow my nose, take out my elastic, freaking scrub my skin, get rid of anything that can add to the scale. Get on the scale, weigh myself, either be very disappointed and it will have an effect on my whole day. It will determine my mood, it will determine how I am, which wife I'm going to be today, which mother I was going to be today, which boss I was going to be today. And then if it's a good thing, then I'm, oh, hey, yay, it's a good day for everyone around me. Until one day when my girl was about 15, 16, 17 months old, and I went to the loo, and my scale is under my basin. I've got a big wooden cabinet basin, and there's a space underneath it. And I especially didn't want to weigh myself in front of her because I am aware of these things. And I finished my pee, I washed my hands, and I walked out of the bathroom, and she went back, she pulled me back, and she went back, and she took the scale from under the basin, and she implied I have to still get on the scale. And on that day, I was like, not a chance will I go for that, and I will not let my child sit with the same issues that I have. Okay, sure. I love reading what you're saying. It hurts me. Sure. Okay, people, so let me just see what's next. I wanna tell you that at our church, I've told you that we have a church, Love Key. We have a ministry, and I've spoken about it briefly in my morning routine, called Sozo. It's a ministry that came from America. It's an incredible tool where a facilitator helps you to actually just helps you in a conversation with the Lord, and it's it's just profound because in absolute split seconds the Holy Spirit shows you stuff that just it frees you within minutes. Where we have had testimonies of people that says, I've been to psychiatrists and psychologists and pills and everything, I've done everything, and in 20 minutes my whole life has changed because we were able to identify the lie. Where did it come in? Who do you need to forgive because of that lie? And then what is the truth? And God is so faithful, he tells you exactly. So on that note, Amber in the chat said, I want to give you an email address. And I want to say, I've given this email address during my Facebook um, Facebook sessions, and there has been incredible testimonies coming from that, from people who were about to hurt themselves, that heard it, who emailed, and whose lives are forever changed. So the email address is sozo@lovekey.co.za. sozo@lovekey.co.za. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, it can happen online. You need 2 hours. You just set aside 2 hours. You make a booking. It's not a space where you come and spill the beans. We don't even want to, I'm not going to be there, but we don't want to know anything. You just, they ask strategic questions, and the Holy Spirit shows exactly what happened. And it's like this, and your life is forever changed. I can vouch for it. My husband went for a session yesterday. I was hanging on his lips to hear what was revealed to him, what came out, how did it change, what was the truth that was revealed to him. And it is like my little 10-year-old boy is like, I want to go for a sozo. And I have sozoed my kids, like, just if the moment I see there's a lie, I'm like, okay, let's quickly just go to the braaikamer, the draai of braaikamer, and let's hear from the Lord what is happening here. What is the lie that you believe here? Okay, so I'm gonna het jy gechat, het jy getik? I for some reason cannot type in the Q&A. Sozo, SOZO @lovekey. Liefde sleutel.co.za. Can somebody else please type it in, because we can't, so that all of the others can see it. sozo@lovekey.co.za. All you need to do is be humble enough to say, I'm in. I'm going to take a step forward, and I'm in. This is what we're going to do. Now, before we're running out of time, that is our first leg. I'm very certain all of us, and I'm always reminded whenever I speak about these things, stuff still come up. And I'm like, okay, I haven't thought about this in a while. I haven't seen that person's face in my mind for a while. And then I know there's something that needs to be dealt with. So all of us, I'm very certain, if you feel like this is not applicable to you, like Sorne, it doesn't make sense, because I am very certain that all of us experience that. We all of us have experienced rejection. When your spouse has cheated on you, the absolute rejection that you have experienced, they're not good enough. Oh, the list goes on. Parents walking out on you, not good enough. Why wasn't I worth my parent staying? Why wasn't I worth my parent not staying alive? Why did he take his life, or did she take her life? Why did they walk out on the family? All of that, and I mean, that was severe stuff. Why did my sibling die? Why did my parent die? The lies that come in from that. And moms, we say things in a whim, in the run, in the passing by. We say things, and the enemy uses that exact thing to just go into your child's mind and heart, and they let it fester for 1 second, and the door is open, and it can build and build and build from there. Okay, let me quickly see what's next on my list. I've said here, have you ever said anything like this, like the inner vows? I will never disappoint someone like my mom disappointed me. Not wanting to disappoint anybody else, not finishing things or seeing things through because there's a root issue there where something wasn't finished in your life, or you didn't see something through as a young child. Maybe your mom or your dad didn't protect you. Maybe you didn't feel safe in the home that you were in. And not only like physical abuse, I mean, that is just incredibly sad, but when it comes to provision, maybe your mom and your dad couldn't provide for you, and therefore you don't trust in God's provision for you. It's all linked. It's all so integrated that it is just flippin' mind-blowingly amazing. And we experience this every day. There we go. sozo@lovekey.co.za. Now, ladies, moms, girlfriends, many of you know that I have recently acquired, if that's the word, the company Girls School. And the reason I went for Girls School when the opportunity came about was not only because God said I must do it, it's because I knew that if we do something like Girls School, we get to work with that little girl from the age of 7, and we get to identify the lie at a very young age, and we get to work with her, and we get to help her to prevent falling for more of those lies, more of those bullies at school, more of the girlfriends who are actually jealous, who make comments, who say things. I mean, my children come running into the house and said, he said this to me. And it's like, really, is that the truth? No. So why are you so upset? If you know the truth, why does it hurt you so much? To be able to teach everyone's children that from a young age, what is their true value and identity, how to love their bodies from a young age, to know that you are unique, that there is no one size fits all, that we have to have an array of sizes and body shapes to be able to fit the whole puzzle, to make the picture beautiful. We can't all look the same, like I said. Girls School was actually only a teenage course. And then the person who developed it, Andre, said she realized by the time she got to those teenagers, the damage was already done. She had a bunch of broken teenagers in her class. And I mean, the result from her walking with them week by week by week was amazing. But she just thought, why can't we just get to them at a younger age? Why can't we get them while they are still very young, to prevent that damaged teenager, that by the time they get to the teenage class, they are actually on such a high, they are so sorted out, and they're just building upon that and building upon that and getting better and bigger and greater in what they're doing. I've lost my shoe somewhere. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is where the other layer comes in. We have girls' schools across the country, and we're going across the globe. Soon we are in Namibia. We have had requests from New Zealand, from Dubai, because girls have the same needs. We are girls. You want to be loved, you want to be adored, you want to feel you're beautiful. We all have the same needs. Doesn't matter what your nationality, doesn't matter what your faith, doesn't matter what your culture. We have inherent needs. That is how God created us. So it's applicable to absolutely everyone. And we have courses from the age of 7 to, we're almost going to be one for 19, but up to 18, where we have age appropriate course information that helps your girl to transition from a junior primaire to senior primary. Is it primary? To high school, to and to be able to not only survive in that little phase of her life, but to thrive, to be the one that's running in front, to be the one that's ahead. Because what happens to somebody who came to girls' school, it sets you apart. It gives you the voorsprong, the edge and the advantage and the voorsprong. Is advantage? Is it voorsprong? So we've got 3 different courses. Wait for it. You have to stay here because I'm going to give you something spectacular. Just wait for it. And I still have to give my testimony, and I've got 25 minutes left, so it's not going to be too long. We have the Girls' School for 7 to 9-year-olds. It's a 1-day course. It's incredibly age appropriate. We teach them to be proud to be a lady, how to introduce yourself, how to just be yourself. How do you not have to be somebody else? How to spend your me time, how you can look after yourself with self-care and personal hygiene, a little bit of posture. It's fun and interactive. We teach them that it's not, you don't sit like this and you don't do body language like this. And if you are the one in the class that sits on the edge of your seat and your shoulders are rolled back and you relax, you are immediately going to draw all the attention. You're going to be front of mind when the teacher is going to ask a question. It's just how it works. I'm in the image industry. Your body language plays an incredible role. It gives you the edge. I purposefully look at people, look at me when I walk at an airport, in a mall, and I walk up straight, shoulders back, with authority, on a mission. People are like, what the heck? Who is this person? And that is supposed to be all of us. We all have to do that. We all have to stand up straight. We all have to get that, just like the edge with how we sit, stand, and talk. And that is what we teach your little girl at the age of 7 already. We're going to do a little bit of skincare and practical and theory, and a little bit of table etiquette. You know what? Why do we do this? Because one of the biggest roots of the enemy is guilt and shame. I promise you. If there is one of you that can tell me in the Q&A right now that you've never struggled with guilt or shame of any kind, ek wil sê bless your soul. Gaan soek 'n bietjie verder because you're going to find it. That is his main mandate, especially with girls. Not especially with girls, because it's definitely with boys as well. And if you are going to sit at a table and the older woman looks at you funnily because you're not using your knife and fork correctly, in that second, guilt and shame comes in. It's just how the enemy works, and we want to prevent that from happening to your girl, so that she's ahead of you, ahead of the game. She knows which knives and forks to use. She knows where to take the glass, where to do this. Because you know what? You never know, and the girl never knows if her friend's father, whom she's having dinner with, is one day going to be her future boss. How she introduced herself to the friend's father. Then, I mean, this 1-day course it depends on where you are in the country, but it's anything between 700 and 1,250 rand. But wait, there's more. Then we have the Girls' School Tween course, which is just amazing. It's for the 10 to 13-year-olds. They are a little bit more volwassen, grown up, mature, and can handle a lot more information. They can write more. They can chat more. They have definitely more focus than the little ones. And here we have different options. Of course, as we've got a 2-day one, we've got a 2-day here, and 2 days later, we've got different options. And there's a 15-module one, which is either over 15 weeks or in another way. And there are many options, and that goes between 2,000 and 8,000 rand across the country. We have different prices for different areas because not everybody can pay the same. So I want you to just think of what the prices are. Keep it in the back of your head. And then we've got the Makulu, Makala, Mahala, not Mahala, but big one. The big course that's the Mase one. That's kicking off in January across the country is the Girls' School Teen course for your 14 to 18-year-olds, which is a 20-module course. Also, it can happen over 20 weeks. It can happen, you might have a town where you've got 3 modules in 1 week. So it depends, but you've got 20 modules. And the kind of things that they discuss, skincare, makeup, nails, deportment is also how you sit, stand, talk, first impressions, body image, wardrobe, etiquette, fitness, healthy eating. Welcome to inner beauty, listening skills, posing, do's and don'ts, assertiveness and communication skills, parent and teen relationships, boys, forgiveness and your inner critic, and then safety net, cyber savviness. This is that last point. I would pay a lot of money for my child to be savvy on the internet one day. We can't prevent them from going on. I mean, you can for as long as you are his parent, but one day you're going to have to let go. And they're going to go on and they're going to see things and they're going to go places where they shouldn't go and things that they shouldn't see. How to teach them from a young age to get that right and to be alert and aware of what's going on online. The teenage course, depending on where you are in the country, is anything from, I think, 6,000 to 10,000 Rand for that 20 module course. Once again, keep that in mind. Because it is so important for us that we help you to take your child's hand and not go through the same pain as we are or we have, and we want to prevent it from a young age. We want to make this as possible for anyone to get into a course. So what we decided to do for tonight and for tonight only is to make you buy your discount. So at 150 Rand, you can literally go to the link that I'm going to give you. I don't know how, because I can't give it in the chat. I'll make a plan. I'll put it on my screen. Let me go like this. And I wonder if you're going to be able to, if somebody will be able to just copy it and put it in the Q&A, I would be so thankful. Danine? Mocha plan, sissy. Let me just make it a little smaller so you can actually see it. Please put it in the chat so that it is copyable. Don't have that bullet in front. Okay, there's not a bullet in front. I don't know why it's there. girlschool.co.za/Mase-Issues/. If you can get that link on, please. For 150 Rand, you buy a 25% discount voucher for the one-day course if your girl is between 7 and 9. So you're going to save. It's for your 2023 course. We're already in November. The year is over. This is for your 2023 course. For 150 Rand tonight, you can go and see whether there is a franchise next to you or close to you. And there are also some up and coming ones. So you can see, okay, by next year, this time, not this time, by next year, we're going to have one in Ekurhuleni, and we're going to have one in Bloemfontein, and we're going to have one in Mbombela. You can buy, you get your voucher. We're obviously going to keep track of you, and we'll connect you afterwards. You get a 25% discount on your one-day course wherever you are. But then obviously the ones with the 10 to 18-year-olds are going to score even more because their courses are pricier. At 250 Rand, you buy it once off tonight. You buy your 25% discount on any of the courses. So 25%. Can I just think about it? On a 10,000 Rand course, that's 2,500 Rand that you save. 2,000, is it reg? Ek kan nie dit glo nie. Jy betaal 250 Rand om 2,500 Rand te spaar vir 'n tiener kursus. People, there's nothing to even think about it. Is that link in the chat already? There we go. Dankie Shanette. Dankie. So for 250 Rand, you can go and see where is your closest franchise. And if there is one up and coming, if there isn't one and you say tonight, Aletté, I want a franchise, I want to actually help you get the whole generation saved, then please contact us about that. That in itself is a whole different thing. But if you are in a remote place, there's nobody close to you, you can also buy the online course. We have an online course, especially for the tweens between 10 and 13, 14 that will be able to do this. You can buy your 25% off voucher for the online course, and that is valued at 2,800 Rand currently. So what's 25% of 2,800 Rand? This buyer, it's 500 and something Rand that you save. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to get your child in, to get the word out, to get a generation that's whole and healed and know who they are, who knows their identity, who is loved and is just resilient against this world. Okay, so that is the special. But I'm coming to my testimony, so don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. Um, and people, if you've got boys, you don't have girls, watch the space, because we are busy working on the guy version, the boy version of the school, because we know we don't want to exclude anyone, we don't want to exclude any human, because all of us are bombarded with these lies. Okay, so that is our deal for tonight. 150 Rand if your girl is between 7 and 9, gives you 25% off your one-day course. And for 250 Rand, you get 25% off any of the courses, and they vary between 2,000 and 10,000 Rand, depending on which one you choose. For your girl, if they are between 10 and 18, for tonight only. So you're going to have to jump on this thing right after I'm done with my testimony. I've got 14 minutes. Okay, please tell me in the chat if you followed me on social media, if you followed the everyday with my 12-day course, where I just said something profound happened, something profound happened, something profound happened, because I was so blown away that it was just more. Tell me, but I just have to know how many people. Yes, okay, cool. Okay, so many of you know that we had a 12-day course at my house in image consulting recently. I was expecting about 13 people. I had no idea how many people. I was full of faith that there were going to be many. And then Esmery came in and she said, we only have 3. And and they were A, C, and D. You've heard that whole part. And then she said, but don't worry, B is coming. And I'm like, B is not coming. I didn't say B is not coming, but in my mind I said B is not coming because nobody has ever started a course after the course has started. It's just not. It's a lot of money. And I mean, we're not going to give you a discount if you miss 2 days. You're going to have to catch up somehow. So, and supernaturally, it happened. We had A, C, and D on day 1. The first day, it's personal development. The first day, because you've heard my heart. I can't teach you how to dress. I can't teach you how to teach others how to dress if I didn't get to your heart first. The first day is just personal development, identity, personality, dealing with lies, identifying lies. So in that first 3 hours, everybody is in tears. Everybody is telling their stories, their life stories. And it is ridiculous how much correlation there is between the 3 of them that has attended at that stage. Like, there's cancer involved, there's half siblings involved, there's this involved, there's that involved. It's profound. Like, it's weird. I was like, this is weird. Okay. Parents lost parents to cancer. The one had cancer. It's like this. It's like really amazing. And come the second day, the whole morning again, we go back. The people come back and they say, the whole night I was working through things and the Lord revealed this to me. And then it's another session. And then the Lord reveals more stuff and it just comes out and there's healing and snot and trane and wholeness and stuff happening. Lies that is shattered and truth that is embraced. Truth that are embraced. It's just amazing. So Esme comes in on Tuesday and says, B is coming. She vrachtig enrolled. She's coming all the way from PE. God provided, like, it's crazy. So on Wednesday, B comes in and we're like, B, tell us your story. And she's like, well, she's here. What I can tell you, I mean, I'm not going to talk out of the room and give you too much information because course, integrity. But one of the ladies were there because her father's estate paid out. He died of cancer, and because of his estate, she was able to do the course. One of the other ladies started doing modeling at the age of 3 years old, and it had a certain effect on her life, like you can imagine. And I mean, the correlation is just ridiculous. So when S told me that B is coming, I was a little bit like, we've already now created this little safe space, and we've bonded, and I'm almost a little bit reluctant to welcome B in. But I mean, if God said B must come, then B must come. And when B came in, we're like, how did you get here? And she said, well, my father's estate paid out and he died of cancer. And she has half siblings. And it was like, okay, this is weird. And then later the day, Esme has gone home. I said, okay, well, just tell us your story. And she's so powerful and dynamic, and she's so whole and healed, and the Lord has really sorted her out on so many levels that she just blurts out everything. Like, this has happened to her in her life. But the first word she says is, I started doing modeling when I was 3. And at this stage, we were like, oh, okay, God is obviously busy with something. Because what are the chances that 4 people in the same room can have so many connected dots? Like, it's just mole. And because of those connected dots, so many things were revealed, and the Lord just healed so many people. Okay. But here I am, I'm the trainer, I'm the sorted out one, I'm the one giving the lesson and facilitating with Esmerie the healing process. I'm not here to be healed. Okay. Jy het nou uitgemors, ek wil net sê. So the Wednesday evening, I say to Heinz, this is profound. You won't believe this is the connections. This is this. I say, God really has to show me what is the point of it all. Because I mean, it's all pretty nice that this has now happened, but there must be a point of all of this. But I have to say, okay, stay with me, people. I come from a very musical family. This is very important. This is interjecting, but this is very important. I come from a musical family, both sides of my family, under the pews, church, worship leaders vibes. Since I can remember, whenever I sing, especially when I'm in the spotlight, if I have to sing alone, or like, I almost can't get anything out. I'm singing very breathy. That's why I sing to babies. I've got lullaby CDs out, and that I can do. And even if I had to go and do that live, I wouldn't be able to do it live. I can do it to my own children, because there's just something that makes me not being able to sing in front of people. Although everything in my head tells me I must be able to do that. I can hear it, but I can't get it out. So 2 weeks before the course, Heinz is away. My singer, my worship leader, my frontline man is away. And Esmerie and I and other people in our church have to lead the worship. There's an incredible speaker. He prophesies over Esmerie. He says, today I'm releasing your voice. And not only your singing voice, but your speaking voice. And I jokingly tell her afterwards, plus I my flippant voice release. You don't need any release. I are needing the release. And I left it there. Okay. Wednesday night, I tell Heinz, listen, God must show us. Why this? Just before I go to bed, I see a face of a family member that I haven't seen for 38 years. It wasn't even a family, it's step family, like aangetrouwde stieffamilie, randomly. Stok ou mense. I see that face in my head, my mind. The next day, Esmerie comes into my office, my room. She says, oh wow, the Lord just sozoed her. She's busy working through this book, and something was written in the book, and it revealed to her stuff about herself. And it was just like profound. And she gets to the class and she shares this, and she shares what she read, and that what she read in the book happened to her. And then the one girl said exactly the same, like exactly that happened to her, and it's tears and it's snot and trane and it's emotional and it's like. And while I'm listening to this, I just keep on seeing these people's faces in my mind, and I don't know why. I'm like, why for the life of me am I thinking of these people? I don't know what's going on. And at one stage, it's tea time. It's tea time. And I go out, and Esmerie looks at me, and I'm white as snow. And she says to me, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. My heart is flipping bouncing out of my chest. I can feel the Holy Spirit is moving. I can feel something is about to happen. And I don't know why. I'm seeing these people's faces. I told her where they fit in the family. I said, I don't know. I don't remember anything. I don't remember that anything happened, but something must have happened, because why am I thinking of them? Why is the Holy Spirit reminding me of them? She says, well, let's just ask. Close your eyes. Forgive these people for whatever they did. Whatever. I forgive them. She says to me, what is the lie that you believe? What is the lie that came in because of the thing that you didn't even know? What happened? I to this day don't know what it is. I have my own conclusions, but what is the thing? The moment she said it, I said that I do not have a voice. And she's like, oh, wow. She says, well, we rebuke that lie. We step out of agreement with that lie, and we say, Lord, please tell us what is the truth. And the moment she says, please tell me what is the truth, I see myself with a megaphone. I said, God gives me a megaphone. He says, I have a voice. And I just want to say, huh? My mag toch, moet ek al lank gesê het. I sang on that Sunday, that first Sunday back in church. I sang, people, like a different person. a different person. Like whatever I wanted to come out of my mouth actually came out of my mouth. So much so that my husband was like, he looked at me on screen. He's like, what just happened? So I had a physical manifestation of a lie that I believed as a 3, 4, 5-year-old. I don't even know what it is, but the Holy Spirit revealed it to me. He used the whole class setup to show me things about myself to get to that lie at the age of 42, to be able, I mean, I made that a post way before that, where I said my biggest dream is to travel the world and worship, knowing in my heart that I can't actually do it. I can't actually really sing, but I will be there. I will be my backing vocal for my husband. I'll be that. That is the lie that I believed. Now Papa gaan ek saam met hom voorsing. I have led songs since that I've never could imagine I could do, because I have identified the lie and stepped out of agreement with the lie and replaced it with the truth. And that is what we have for you today. So email us at sozo@lovekey.co.za. I can't wait to hear your testimonies and to hear how you have been set free and how you have stepped out of agreement with the partnerships and the lies that you have made across your lives. And then obviously we have those specials that we have for 100. All of us have 150 Rand right now. 250 Rand. I'm very certain that you can apply 250 Rand right now to be able to buy that discount for your child, to invest in your child's future forever and evermore. They will never be the same. Or a cousin, or a niece, or a godchild. And if you want to buy 6, you can buy 6. It doesn't matter. There's no limit on how much you can take. Oh, thank you so much. I can't believe that we got through all of that. There is hope, people. There is always hope. There is always hope. You can never give up. Your child is looking at you. Your child loves you. Your child adores you. Let's be the best versions of ourselves we could ever be. Just choose, be humble. Because that is the one thing that's going to prevent you from doing this today is pride. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just don't, because you can be set free in minutes, and it's going to change your life forever. And it's going to change your children. It's going to change your children's children. It's going to change your marriage, because that's what it does. It does. It has an effect on all of those areas in our lives. I love you. Our power is about to go, so I don't want to take any more chances. I hope you had a great evening. Please keep on telling until the power goes. Please tell us. I can stop recording. Please tell me in the chat what you've learned today. One of these days I'm going to sing to you. Yeah, I'm going to make you crazy. But yes, it's just for me. Every time I sing, I just get this smile on my face, because it's just God who can do that. No one else can make me sing. No one else can make me sing. No one else. I'm going to stop the recording. So cheers to the recording people so that it can